All right, guys. So I needed to get this episode out. And normally I would be recording in my apartment, but I just needed to get this episode out. So here we are. If you're new here, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Robert Alexander. I'm a professional hairstylist with over 15 years of experience. Let me make sure that I use the microphone. This is part 4 of my archetype series where we use celebrities, superstars specifically, using their blueprint for achieving success. We featured Beyonce, we featured Rihanna, most recently Kanye West, and this week we are featuring the one and only Grammy Award winning Doechii. Now, the significance of Doechii for me is that she is an enigma, and there is so much that I can say, but I want to stay on topic today. But what I will say is that I love a woman who is able to be sexy but doesn't have to sell sex to sell records and doesn't have to sell sex to ex- exemplify talent. Doechii is talented whether she wears a potato sack or a string bikini, and there's nothing wrong with being sexy whatsoever, so please don't get it mixed up. But I love when an artist can be respected for their talent instead of for some type of gimmick. That is when I see longevity in an artist. That being said, that's why I wanted to feature her and dive a little bit deeper into why I think that we, as hairstylists specifically, or professionals in any arena, but I'm speaking to hairstylists today, why we can benefit from taking a closer look at her success. So I'm just going to get right into it. With number one, Doechii is persistent. And I want to make reference to a couple quotes. First is 50 Cent, which get rich or die trying. And the second one is from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, where, and I am paraphrasing, where he says, if you treat success in the same way as you treat life, as in wanting to live, wanting to breathe, there is nothing that will stop you. You will fight to the last breath to live, right? And that's the exact same approach that I recognize Doechii having with her success. She has been extremely persistent, and some of these topics may overlap, but watching someone who is multifaceted, who has so many different techniques to artistic expression, whether that be rapping or whether that be singing, whether that be some form of poetry, she is someone who is never put inside of a box. And the way that that applies to being a hairstylist is oftentimes we want things to be perfect. We want to be packaged perfectly. We want everyone to see the very best in us from the very beginning. And the difficult part about that is that if you aren't able to be raw, be real, be ugly at times, no one's going to be able to see you. Forget everybody else. You won't really know where your strengths or your weaknesses are. You'll just be so focused on being perfect that you miss so many marks. And it is the ugly, quote unquote, it is the raw, it is the imperfect that makes art art. But the beauty is in the quote unquote flaws. That is where you shine through. In a sea of hairstylists, if you can come out and showcase what you bring to the table, that is what people will love. Number two, Doechii is fearless. She has 5+ years of transparency documented on YouTube. The most noteworthy video for me is the Thank God I Got Fired video. And it's the beginning of a series of videos where things aren't necessarily going her way. Her job fired her for whatever reason, and she is going to go all in. She's decided, I have nothing left to lose. I'm just going to go all in on my dreams and see what happens. I am no longer going to care what anyone thinks. I am just about to go all in on what I believe in. How this applies to hair is I know so many stylists seek comfort and stability, and it's not there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think that you can truly serve two goals, two desires. Arrows have one point for a reason. You can only hit the target. And I remember when I was very, very young and new in my career, I think I was only just starting cosmetology school. Maybe I had just graduated So this was like 2009. And my mom, not only my mom, but the guy I was dating at the time were both like, you should, become a CNA. And I'm like, why did I just go to cosmetology school to become a CNA? I'm not doing that. I never had a plan B. And the strength that comes with not having a plan B is that you have to go all in on plan A. And the things that fueled me were that everyone in my household and in my family have degrees. They went to college. That's the safe route. That's what you do. Education is security. And here I am like, nah, I'm not going to school. But because I knew I had something to prove, not only to myself, but to my family as well, being like 19 years old and saying no to school, I had to really knock it out of the park. But my point is that you have to have faith in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, and that's not to say anyone who has a second job doesn't believe in themselves. I don't want anyone to walk away from this offended. So please, understand that I'm not here to offend anyone, but I'm here to encourage everyone. If you don't go all in and have complete faith in yourself, your career path is going to reflect the lack of confidence that you have in your plan A. And I will stand firmly on that. The fact that Doechii was able to stay persistent and consistent on what her desires were, regardless of what the circumstances were, is a testament to what it means to overcome. And we all have the ability to do so. And that's what I want to speak into everyone listening to me right now. As long as you know that everything's not going to go your way, but there are times where you have to focus on the micro. That's the day to day, that's the minute to minute, and sometimes it's the macro, which is the year to year. I don't know what July, August, and September are going to give me. However, whatever comes my way, I know what my objectives are. I know for a fact that I want to make this much a month. I know for a fact that I want to do this many heads. I know for a fact that I have to get content, even if I have to do it for free. I am getting that content because what I don't make today, I am going to make tenfold once this goes viral on TikTok. Now is the time where you have nothing is standing in your way but you. TikTok is free. And right now, I have two videos that are doing very well. One is headed towards, I don't even know. I don't know how many views it has right now. And the other one is significantly less, but I posted them both less than a week ago and they're doing extremely well. And it's just about consistency with TikTok. You never know. And when I posted that first video, the one that's doing the best right now, I had no intentions. I didn't think it would do anything. And that's the one that's doing the best. It's so important to stay consistent because no one move is the one. And if one move is the one, you never know which one it's going to be. To plug another book, Atomic Habits. So, quick story because I got a little time. There is a story about the ice cube that won't melt. And so there's a little ice cube sitting on the table in a room that's 28 degrees. And slowly but surely, the temperature increases in the room. 29, 30, 31, 31 and a half. And then eventually, when it gets to melting point, the ice cube starts to sweat a little bit. And you didn't see any change happen in any of those degrees that led up to 32 degrees, but each degree actually counted. Each degree mattered. It took all of those to get to the point where the ice cube actually changed. So don't get so caught up in what you do or don't see. As long as you are working towards what you believe in, and as long as you truly, truly believe in yourself, that's the magic. If you're looking for magic, it's not about going viral. It's not about having a certain client. It's not about any one particular thing. It's about every single thing and doing it and wanting it and desiring it like the air that you breathe. Lastly, lastly, Doechii is boundless. And by that, I mean, what is the Doechii sound? So obviously, I'm a fan. I'm a big music head. Doechii has so much music that if I were to show you, probably I could put together a playlist of 10 Doechii songs and you wouldn't believe that it's the same artist because every single song sounds so incredibly different. And I find this especially relevant for new stylists. If you don't have a niche, that is okay. I don't expect you to. The only time someone should have a niche is if they have explored every single facet of hair and decided, okay, this is it. The example I want to use is that I have a lot of friends who are physicians now. And they thought, oh, I'm going to go to school and become, an OBGYN. And suddenly they gravitate towards radiology or some other type of speciality in that field. So it's okay to go in, expecting or desiring to do one thing, but you never know what's going to click for you to achieve so much success in a niche that you had no idea. But I do find it incredibly worthwhile to explore because otherwise, how could you ever know? Now, how does that apply to me? I remember when I first started doing hair, I wanted to go into cutting and coloring, and I caught on to extensions, weaves, sew-in weaves, that evolved into wigs, and eventually it came full circle, and I cut and colored the hell out of these wigs and these extensions, and I absolutely love it. And so it will behoove you to explore things because every single lesson, every single day, every single victory, every single failure or perceived failure all work towards your greatest good. You can't skip chapters. If you do, you skip parts of your story that are incredibly important. There's not a single failure in my over 15 years of being a professional hairstylist that I regret. I have failed forward. I've achieved. I've won. I've lost, and all of it matters. And some could even argue that the losses matter more than the wins. And it took me to explore every single facet. At one point, y'all, I was doing lashes. And I'm not talking about these cool lash extensions that people do now. I'm talking about old school beauty supply, not strips, individual lashes that go on that thing. I thought I wanted to do eyebrows. I tried to do locks. I've tried to do quick weaves, ponytails, perms, curly hair, twist outs, things like that. Um, yeah, a little bit of everything. I even took a stab at pixie like shortcuts one time. Um, and that's just not my ministry. And I'm sure I could acquire the skills to do well at it. But I found my pocket and I love my pocket. And honestly, my pocket loves me too. I do well in my niche, but it took me exploring all of those things. And even to this day, there's something from everything aforementioned that helps me achieve my goals today. So now being a extensions and wig specialist, sometimes my clients want curly hair and I will use the things that I've learned in doing natural curly hair, the knowledge for cultivating those curls, etc., to make the wig look great. So it took every single tiny step along the way and perceived failure for me to get to where I am now. And I am not even close to done failing forward. And I've referenced this in previous episodes. There's a TikTok that I have where I did a quick weave and it didn't work out and I corrected it. And that video did really well too, by the way. But I corrected it and it gained me more clients. And I ended up taking quick weaves off my service list because I just don't think that is worth the time for me. And that's not what I want to do. But my point is just that if you can be comfortable being uncomfortable, that is how you find the sweet spot in your career as a professional hairstylist. This is probably one of my favorite episodes because I am so passionate about seeing someone achieve their goals in what is perceived as a short amount of time and a hefty amount of effort and work. And most importantly, faith in one's self. That is the cherry on top of all of this, is that Doechii had 100% faith in herself in the darkest and hardest of days. And that is what makes the difference between the people who are in it for the cash grab and the people who are passionate about being beauty professionals. And I can always, 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 always tell the difference. I don't talk about my program as often as I should, but speaking of professionals and passion, I have created a membership online free to hair professionals, and it's called the Five-Star Stylist. I created it so that professional hairstylists, aspiring professional hairstylists, have a safe space to discuss ways of working smarter and not harder so that we can achieve success in a way that money becomes passive, money becomes an afterthought. I have created a system where my clients and I never have to discuss money. And oftentimes, my appointments are just enjoying each other's company, having phenomenal conversations, and they just so happen to get their hair done. I just so happen to make money from it. It feels that way. The hair and the money are an afterthought because that machine is so well oiled. And I think that that's what it needs to be versus being so money focused that it shows. It shows in your work, it shows in your customer service, it shows in your website and policies. All of those things speak. And the five-star stylist is to combat that and to avoid burnout so that we can continue to be happy and thriving. I am over 15 years of my career and I feel like I'm just getting started. And I'm so passionate about that because I've watched many people do it differently. And so, guys, if you love this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you have not already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this video with someone that you think might benefit from it. And comment below your favorite part. And if you're interested in seeing me feature another artist, just put their name in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Peace.